Rachel with Wolf, and today we're going to work on doing some desensitization and counter conditioning, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that with him at home. Now, a lot of it is going to be me giving you suggestions because I'm by myself in here. Can't do too much with Wolf, and it is a very gradual process. Now, he does react to new people by growling and snarling, which you don't want at all. You want him to appear friendly, and you want to be confident that he won't frighten or hurt anyone that approaches him. So, by doing that, you have to start out slow and expose him to things with increasing intensity. So, to desensitize him, what you do is expose him to the least threatening things first. So if he prefers women to men, have a woman approach him, and you want her to get, don't get close enough to elicit the snarling or snapping from him or the growling. And you want to reward him for what he does right. And for counter conditioning, what you do is you try to reteach the behavior. Maybe he's had a bad experience, maybe he's just a nervous dog. So you want to teach him to respond in a friendly manner to meeting new people instead of responding aggressively. So how you do that is you reward good behavior and you discipline the negative behavior. So, first of all, what I'm going to kind of show you is desensitization. Now, you saw this morning when you dropped Wolf off that when I reached down to pet him, he snarled and snapped at me a couple times with you standing there. Now, first things first is when you left and I had the leash, as soon as you rounded the corner and you were out of sight and you weren't there anymore, I reached down and I offered my hand to him, and he did not growl or snap. He didn't look excited for me to be there and didn't really want to be pet, but he wasn't acting aggressively. So that's something you need to be aware of as his owner, that your presence might make him protective of you. Now, to work on this desensitization, I would suggest calling up a friend that he hasn't met before, and you guys going to a neutral public place. If you have her or him come to your house, dogs are protective creatures and they're den creatures. So your house is like their den, and he will often be protective of his house like he is protective of you, where he reacted more aggressively towards me when you were there than when you were gone. So by taking him and putting him in a place that he hasn't been before, he has other distractions. He's not totally comfortable there. He has new smells to distract him from reacting aggressively, and also he doesn't feel like he has to protect anything. So you need to start out slow and unthreatening at first. Now, I can go up and pet Wolf, no problem now. I still do it slowly because I want to gain his trust. But just getting his harness on him to bring him in here to do the training took some time. So I'll show you what I did. First of all, I'm crouched down like this, and I offered my hand. I offered the back of my hand to him like this, and you can see I'm just waiting for him to come to me. I'm not reaching forward to him at all, so it's his choice to approach me. And now he's choosing to approach even more. Now we've had some bonding time, and so we're okay. So I'm comfortable petting him. He flinched a little bit there, so he is a little uncomfortable, but here he is letting me pet him, and he's being very good about it. He's not growling or snarling at all, and now he feels relaxed enough to explore things around me. So he's decided that I'm not a threat, which is good. Now, I have a little treat in here, and he doesn't seem to be very responsive to my treats, but if there's a treat at home that he likes, try offering it to him when he is reacting nicely like this. You want to reward this kind of positive response instead of using a treat to distract him from growling or snapping. Yeah. I don't want to push too hard with the treat, and I can see that he doesn't want it. So we aren't going to force it. You don't want to force it too much. You want to do it, expose him to things in small increments with, gradually more intensity so that he can succeed. So when I sit down like that, he chooses to approach me. He's not growling or snapping, and it's, I think, a fairly positive experience for him. When he comes up to me, I pet him. I offered him some treats, but he didn't want it. Now, if someone were to just come up, say I'm you, and you have Wolf out for a walk. Now say you meet someone, if this is, say, a friend that is going to help you desensitize him, make sure that she has some sort of treat with her that he likes, if there is food that he likes at home. So when you walk up and he sees the new person, she can offer him a treat right away. And hopefully that will encourage him to react positively instead of being timid and fearful. Now, if he does growl or snap, she should know to take the treat away and not give it to him, because that would be positively conditioning him to respond in a bad way. So if he's fearful and aggressive, he gets a treat. Now, if he is growling like that, I know he is adorable and he's your baby, and so it might be natural for you to say, "Oh no, Wolf, it's okay." Comfort him like that, pick him up maybe, or something like that. But what that is doing is also encouraging him, because if he acts fearful and scared, you comfort him and you are reiterating that behavior and encouraging that behavior. So what would be helpful from you is that when he meets someone, or if he does not respond well, is have a squirt bottle. Now this is very effective. It doesn't hurt them. It gets their attention, and they don't particularly care for it, so it's a good correction. Now, I'm not going to squirt him now because he's doing nothing wrong, but this has a nice strong stream, and it's solid. So if you were to growl when approaching someone, even if you're doing it slow by having them sit on the ground and letting him approach them, if he does that, you can pair it with a no noise, which is ah or something loud, catches his attention, and you can just give him a quick squirt like that. That will get his attention, and the idea is that it will make him, tongue-tied here. The idea is that it will discourage the negative behavior that you're trying to avoid. So, desensitization is working up in small increments from least threatening to most threatening. Of course, we never want to threaten him and purposely make him scared, but say if he is indeed more afraid of men, ideally we want to get him to the point that even a 6'5" man, can come walking up to him, walk right up like this, and pet him, which he probably wouldn't be able to handle now. So, by desensitizing, letting him come to you, or come to me, since he doesn't have a problem with you, obviously. And the counter conditioning is where you correct the negative behavior with something he doesn't like, or encourage the positive behavior by him getting a treat when he acts appropriately. Now, if you are meeting someone and they are coming up to you for the first time, say they're walking up and maybe they're 10 feet away. If you're paying attention to him, watching his body language, listening for him, and if he's responding well, tell him, "Good boy, Wolf, good boy," and offer him a treat. have that person step a few feet closer, and if he still responds well, offer him a treat. And keep doing that until they get closer and closer. Now, if there is time when he does start growling, that would be a good time to use a squirt bottle for correction, or give him a slight poke to his side, right about here. All right, now there, be careful for that. He doesn't like his side poke. I was barely touching him there. I did not hurt him at all, but it is sensitive for dogs. And I haven't spent much time with Wolf. This is my first day meeting him, so it's kind of a little much for me to be doing that right away. So for that, if he were to respond like that, that's why it is best to have a squirt bottle. It keeps everyone's fingers safe and out of the way, and you would correct him with something that he doesn't like for a negative response, and reward him for positive responses. Now, he is getting better with me. He also likes his harness that I noticed, so as you're working up, which this may take a few days, it may take several times of working it with him. If there's someone that he doesn't like and he's gotten to the point where they can offer their hand like this, and if he approaches them and it still doesn't want them to touch him, you can try having them offer the harness to him. Because I noticed he got really excited about that, and he did really want the harness, even though he wasn't necessarily happy to see me. It helped him that he saw something excited, so that helped him be a little nicer to me sooner. So, since this has been kind of a long time, even though I haven't been right down with him the entire time, he has still been right here with me, listening to me talk, being with me at the other end of the leash, so I think it's kind of pushing his limits. We were getting along really well, but there have been a couple times where he has snapped at me. So I'm going to step on the leash to hold it, offer my hand, and if he responds badly, I'm going to squirt him with the water bottle to correct him. So, here, Wolf. Alright, just sniffing now, so that's good. He seems to be okay with me crouching down and approaching him. So now I'm going to try to say hi to him from standing up. Turn. Alright, now that is all the petting I'm going to do. He started to snarl at me, and so I gave him a no noise, and I squirted the squirt bottle. The water didn't even hit him, didn't touch him at all, but he still reacted to it, and it stopped his snarling, and he didn't snarl at me after that. So that is an example of how slow you need to take it, and how you discourage the bad behavior and encourage the good behavior. Now, he doesn't want to take any treats from me. I did just enough interaction with him to slightly pet him so that he could see that nothing bad was going to happen from me being here and from me touching him. But I didn't want to pet him too much to the point where it was too much for him to handle, and he did act out towards me again. We ended on a good note, so I'm going to call it good for today. He has done a very good job and has come a long way just since this morning. So try to use these tips and try them out in different areas and different scenarios to see what works best for him. And altogether, I think they will really help his reaction to meeting new people. This was Rachel and Wolf, and we were working on desensitization and counter conditioning.